I've been on benzodiazepines, or benzos for short, for close to 15 years now, and I finally decided that I had enough and I'm gonna finally get off of them. I've tried to get off of them quite a few times over the years and have not been able to do so successfully. They were half-hearted attempts, and I just wasn't really ready for it, I believe, at the time. I would start to try to slowly taper off my medication and then would start to get bad withdrawals and anxiety and would just think, I can't do this. I got to go back on it. And especially having all these vision issues has just made my anxiety so much worse than it used to be. Where once I started to get the vision issues, I was just like taking more and more and more of the benzos just to cope. And it got pretty bad for a few years, but then I started to decrease my dose and go back to what I was originally taking. I've always used the excuse that when things get better, that's when I'll get off. I'm just not ready at this point in my life. I need things to be going better, so I'm having less stress, and then that'll be the right time to get off. But I've realized that there's never going to be a good time or a right time to get off or an easy time to get off. It's always going to be difficult, and I believe that the longer I continue to be on them and continue to wait, the tougher and tougher it's going to be to finally get off of them. I just much rather get off of them on my own terms than for some reason get cut off from the medication where for some reason I can't get it filled anymore, or I lose the medication, or just for some reason can't get to it within a day or two and start to have severe withdrawals by having to go cold turkey. And that could potentially kill me because I could start having seizures that could potentially end my life. And that's a very scary thought. So I don't ever want to be in that position. I don't want my life to continue to revolve around having to take a pill. So I'm at a point right now where I'm just fed up. I know this stuff is not doing me any good. It's just been poisoning my brain and my body. And it's scary to think about the damage that it's done. I know that I'm probably predisposed to developing dementia because my grandfather had it. And being on benzos long term can rapidly increase the rate of developing dementia, and I really don't want that. So I need to get off of it, and I finally decided to start to taper this last week. So as far as what I've been taking and my dosage, I did make a video a few months back about being on Xanax, and I've been on Xanax for the majority of my time being on benzos, but around the last year to year and a half, I made the switch to Valium because I figured it'd be easier to taper off of since it's a longer acting benzo. It won't have so much of the intradose withdrawals and the stuff you get with a shorter acting benzo like a Xanax. So I was prescribed 20 milligrams of Valium a day, and then eventually cut it to about 15 milligrams, and then went to about 12 and a half. And just recently I went down to 10. And even that small jump between the 12 and a half to 10, I'm definitely feeling a lot. And I decided to start doing a water taper. So I will take the 10 milligrams of Valium and put it in a container of water. I'll fill the water to 300 milliliters. And then every day I take 1 milliliter out of the solution. And then I just drink the container throughout the day. So basically, at the taper, if I decided to continue doing it at the rate I'm doing it, it should be about 300 days or a little bit less than a year until I fully come off. I may increase the rate at which I taper if I feel like things are going okay and they're going smoothly. If I start having a bunch of issues, I may put a hold on the taper and then just stay at that amount for a while until things hopefully get easier. I'm trying to do a slow taper to minimize the amount of suffering I go through, and also doing a quicker taper, you're more likely to develop protracted withdrawal symptoms, which you can still develop even doing a slower taper, but it's much more likely to develop them if you were to do a quick taper, or even worse, just go cold turkey and just completely stop taking any of the medication. So I'll be making future videos on how this goes, but I'm expecting the worst. I've already started to develop some withdrawal symptoms, mainly increase in my insomnia, and also just having very, very vivid dreams, usually nightmares. And those have been the biggest withdrawal symptoms that I've noticed so far. So I'm hoping it goes as smooth as possible, but I know I'm going to be going through hell, and it's going to be very tough to get off. And then even when I'm off, most people will still not feel right for a year, maybe a few years, due to protracted withdrawal symptoms or other such things. And I really hope that I heal as quickly as possible. So I will continue to make some videos about updates, assuming I'm not too sick at some point deep within the taper, to make videos, because it's quite possible that I might not be able to do much of anything. But I'm just hoping that it goes well. So for anybody out there who's on these, this poison, which I know there's millions and millions and millions of people who are physically dependent on benzos, because it's super easy to get hooked on them. I mean, literally, if you take them every day for a few weeks, I mean, most people are just dependent by then. And unfortunately, doctors prescribe them in a way they shouldn't, because they're not supposed to be taken every day on a consistent basis. But most people don't know that, including me. When I got on it about 15 years ago, I was never warned that you're not supposed to take these every day. And I was prescribed to take them every day. And I seriously regret ever having to go on them. And I wish my psychiatrist was more transparent. But again, none of these medical professionals really care. They just want to push pills and make money, and they don't care about your well-being. And it's very sad state of affairs, but it's just the way it is right now. And for anybody that's going through benzo withdrawal right now, just know that I will be joining you soon. And I'm not looking forward to it from all the horror stories I've heard, but it is something that needs to be done, because I know it's holding me back, and I feel like if I can finally get off of it someday, I'll be doing better, I'll be feeling better, and be able to think better, and just have a better quality of life. So until next time, stay strong, warriors.